basically trying to encourage kids to participate in tennis, and there's no better way than, as you can see out here right now, kids having fun. You know, that's one of the most important things about any introduction into any sport, and particularly with tennis. I think with the Rebo wall, it's going to make it a lot of fun. And you know, together with First News and David Lloyd Leisure, they're running a competition that any school can enter to try and win one of these £5,000 Rebo walls. So there's a pretty great competition and a great idea.
So you're working with these children. How important is it to, you know, get these children in playing sport?
Well, hugely important. I'm a parent myself, so I've got two girls, so I know that it's you know, it's something that's challenging at times. You know, you really need to find ways to actively encourage them to get out there and do something. You know, I mean, kids need to be stimulated, you know, not just physically but mentally as well when they're doing the physical activity. And I think something like this in a tough sport, which tennis is, you need a lot of different things to do it well, is absolutely perfect. I mean, the kids, I've been with them for an hour already and they haven't stopped running around and big smiles on their face.
Sometimes tennis isn't the, you know, hockey and football, and they're all ingrained within the sport curriculum really in school. You play it as a team, whereas tennis, it's not really compulsory. I mean, how is this a way of getting those children into tennis?
Well, I agree with you, you know, and there's certain things you can't change. You know, if you've got a soccer field and you can get 22 of, you know, kids playing on it, that's, you know, it's a great use of your space. Tennis, unfortunately, being a tennis court, you can tend to have 2 to 4 kids on it, and so schools do struggle to have it, as you rightly say, as part of the curriculum. That's why I love this Rebo wall, because basically you can have, you know, 20 kids lined up hitting tennis balls, having a great time out there, and it's a good use of the space that you have. And you know, you put 45 minutes into hitting tennis balls and just running around, it's going to encourage them to come back and do it again.
And what sort of feedback have you been having from the kids today?
Yeah, well, a lot of great feedback. I mean, it's not the first time I've done this, and you know, there's no question with tennis, if you play to your standard with the wall. You know, you hit it a certain way, it comes back a certain way. Whenever you play tennis, generally, you need someone down the other end of the court. If they're a lot better than you, then it's not so much fun for them. It's not so much fun for you as well. So for them, if you go ask them now, they'll tell you that they've hit 100 tennis balls today, which they wouldn't have done normally.
So can you tell me about whereabouts in the Midlands this is being done in schools?
Well, it's obviously here at the moment with David Lloyd Leisure today. We obviously this is the start of hopefully something, you know, unveiling this particular project along with Rebo walls in not just schools but hopefully in tennis clubs as well. It is something that seems to have gone away a little bit. I grew up playing tennis against the wall. I can assure you that Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and everybody that you know, Tim Henman, you know, Andy Murray, would have hit against the wall, and so it's a way to introduce yourself into it. And as I say, for schools, it's a great way of utilising space, which is becoming a little bit more cramped these days.
And you know, moving on to tennis within Birmingham, how is this, you know, a really good, you know, grassroots stage for tennis in Birmingham?
Well, I think, you know, traditionally actually tennis at a young age isn't that expensive, you know, but to get kids in, they wouldn't normally come out here, you know. That's the problem. You know, a lot of parents, if you haven't played tennis, why would you push your kid to play tennis? Whereas if you've just got something like this in the playground at school and you've got some rackets lying around, you can come and just whack a few balls against the wall. The kid may come home and say, hey, I love tennis, this is great fun. So you go and look for the local club, which isn't hugely expensive to start with, to go out there and start playing and figure out a way. So it's a way of not just having fun with your kids, but also perhaps finding a sport that other parents wouldn't naturally have allowed their kids to play.